One of the best things that Automobilista 2 does is easy to access, quick to jump in AI racing. In order to demonstrate this, what I'm going to do is jump into the Caterham 620R at Brands Hatch with the AI on 93% and low aggression. Though you'll see low aggression means they're complete lunatics. Needless to say, this is absolutely fantastic fun. If you do offline racing, give this a go. Give this a go. So let's get on the track and let's get talking and driving. Welcome back to Game Muscle YouTube channel as well, and thank you for subscribing, clicking the like button, and possibly buying the Game of Muscle mug from the Game of Muscle merch store so you can drink tea out of a mug with too many logos on it. It's entirely optional though. Right, setup wise with the car, before we drive, I've made the steering super duper quick because I'm lazy, and we have the brake bias is quite far back. I might move it forwards a touch. AMS2 keeps your setup from the previous time we drove the car. The rear diff could probably be a bit more open, but it's alright, we're just going to go for it. I like to start from the back. I think that's really good fun, and I have to say, I've actually, because I've been messing around with the single player, I have been really impressed by the quality of the AI in AMS2, and I really do think because there's a lot of people that do sim racing that are desperate for good single player racing. They don't have time to really do the multiplayer. They don't really want to mess around with things too much. You know, they just want to jump in, have a race, pop on the VR headset, have a good race, you know. And unfortunately, of the modern simulators, there are, like, R-Factor 2 has fantastic AI, Race Room has fantastic AI. In fact, Race Room's actually quite good for jumping in and going. But other than Race Room, normally you're going to have to fiddle quite a lot just to get things to a reasonable level with the AI to be likely to have a good race. Whereas what I've found with AMS2, there are some exceptions, and as I said in the previous video we did, the content's a bit over the place, but generally, if you found a car that you like to drive and you put it with AI, you get this. Absolutely fantastic driving with AI that don't just do convoy driving. They actually battle each other in front of you. You see that green car moving on the blue car in front of us, and they actually do moves on you. Again, this is lowest aggression, so they're pretty chill. It's really quite entertaining without having to piddle around too much. So really nice for people that don't want to do multiplayer. Now, I'm all about multiplayer, but I think as well, one of the great things with AI is that if you're sort of new to sim racing and you want to get up to speed and you want to get a lot of practice in quickly, that's where AI also makes a ton of sense. I mean, obviously I've been playing driving sims since like 2002, well, since like the 1930s. But before I even started really doing online racing with like Live for Speed and R-Factor 1 and GTR Evolution, and you know, before I started doing that, I'd already done quite a bit of offline racing with such amazing titles like Nigel Mansell's World Championships on the Atari ST, which was very realistic. You know, all the arcade stuff and everything. So I'd already had a little bit of training before getting online. Whereas people now coming to sim racing, they haven't gone through that, and so online might be a bit intense for them. So it's absolutely fantastic having single player to get a lot of practice with driving in traffic in an environment where if you are punted off, you could just restart, doesn't matter, and also you could drive into other people without them swearing at you, which is boring actually. It's better to have people swear at you when you drive into them, but but you know, it's great to really, with AI, to be able to test your limits a bit. You can sort of work out break points, you can see how the AI is navigating the track. You can really learn a lot by just having an AI car in front of you and being in a pack of cars and seeing what they're doing to then adjust your driving accordingly. What I would say as well, a really nice thing to do with AI when you're racing it, whoa, he's gone to the left, he double moved there. When you're racing AI, a really good thing to do is you put the AI on a slightly less skill level than yourself, which takes a little bit of getting, you have to you know, you have to test the AI a few times to see if they're beating you easy or if they're slower. But you put them on a slightly easier, slightly harder difficulty than yourself, or slightly easier, and you start at the back and then you work your way through the traffic. So you know, just do that with like 10-minute races, and what that will do is get you really, really proficient in driving through traffic. Now, if you put the AI on a slightly harder setting than what, you know, you struggle a little bit to keep up with them, if you have that just a slightly bit harder, what you'll find is that you then get coaxed into driving a bit quicker, but you're getting coaxed in a way where you're not just being left by people. And I think that's one of the problems you have with online racing, is that if you're very new to sim racing, you'll probably find that most people just drive away from you, and then you can't even learn from them, you know, and you just feel lonely, and you're not getting that nice immersive driving experience. So though I'm not a big AI racer, I totally see its value, as it's something that I benefited from back when I was a wee little laddo. Now, the other really great thing with having lots of AI is that obviously you can fill a whole grid up and have something that looks like a very realistic Caterham 7 race here. And when you've got lots of cars around you, it looks absolutely superb. It's really fun watching the physics of the vehicles and how those cars dance around, and how the cars are moving and everything that's going on with them. It's really, really fun to see that with the vehicles. I think if you're just driving around by yourself, you can only really be aware of your vehicle. As that car there just made a really nice move up our inside. What a cheeky bugger. I'm going to have to get him back for that. I don't know why they've not included the picnic camper on these cars. That should be in the race spec of the Caterham. That picnic camper, by the way, costs like £3 if you want that added to your Caterham 7. I am actually a massive fan of Caterham 7s. This is one of the few cars that I would personally own if I wanted to just waste money. And it's a great car in the sense that you can have it road legal, and it can also be quite a good track car. Most cars that are road legal cars are going to be boring on a track, but I think this sort of, somehow the Caterham manages to buck the trend and bridge the gap, especially if you're going to do like autocross as well, or, you know. What a phenomenal vehicle the Caterham 7 is. Almost as exciting as a Skoda Citigo. Oh my god. So we're now in the sandwich zone here between these cars. You see that car behind us is pressuring us to try and get a pass on the cars in front. And I've just gone wiggity woggity there. Oh, I bollocksed it. Into the pit lane we go. See? Great. To the back we go. So, yeah, I put a wheel on the grass there, and now I'm hospitalised. But because this is a simulator and not reality, I could just continue driving. And because I've turned damage off, no worries, happy days. And because this is AI, I didn't ruin another driver's online session. The moral of the story is you probably shouldn't talk and drive unless you're really good, not just average. But, yeah, if you haven't tried it yet, you need to jump on with this Caterham, specifically this Caterham 620R. I think the super lights are a bit mushy, or there's something off with them. But this Caterham here, also with the force feedback file that is in the previous video we uploaded yesterday, I highly recommend giving this a go with the AI. I think a lot of people will be really pleasantly surprised with how fun it is to drive. Also, what you'll probably want to do as well is make sure that you set the track grip to fully rubbered. Otherwise, actually, it not being fully rubbered in some ways makes the car a bit easier to drive because it slows things down. The slides are more progressive, but fully rubbered track is, I think, more enjoyable, more snappy, more bitey way to drive, and you'll have a fun time with it. This car will definitely teach you how to appreciate the throttle pedal, because the back will fly out. But unlike the other Caterham, or the last time we drove the Caterhams, the front actually bites in here, which is quite wonderful because that's what a car should do. Yes, there you go, guys. I'm pretty sure all of you could probably do better than my performance of finishing 26th after driving into the pit lane. But I think that gives you a good, pretty adequate example of how you can just jump in and have a pretty decent race with AI straight away, no fussing around. Absolutely top notch. Good job by Reza Studios with this and the last update. Hopefully all the AMS2 fanboys are now thoroughly confused after the previous video. I'm loving this. But yes, if you enjoyed this, make sure you click the like button and subscribe. Also, crucially, if you find an AI single player combo and setting that works really well, put it in the comments so that people that are interested in doing offline AI racing can see in the comments. They'll be like, oh yeah, that's a good combo because I saw it underneath that Bold Gits video. So I'll try that out. So good single player AI settings and combos, include them under the video. But until the next one, guys, make sure you subscribe. I've said that 10 times now so you don't miss the next live stream. We're going to be driving this car in our next live stream. Till the next one, happy tea drinking, take care, and goodbye.